Residents of a South Florida trailer park are being forced out.
Landlord in San Rafael is shutting down a rent-controlled RV park.
A community of dozens was given just 24 hours to get out.
A well-known RV park is shutting down.
Where am I gonna go?
Hey everyone, it's RVing with Joe here. I've got an update on the RVing and homeless situation, not just here in Vancouver, but everywhere. It's about to get worse. Let's talk about it. Imagine living your life in a rolling metal box. That's the reality for a growing number of people who are turning to RVs as a temporary and sometimes permanent home. As housing costs continue to skyrocket, more and more people are finding themselves forced to live in vehicles.
And I have a limited income, $800 a month. There is no place I can rent or buy for $800 a month.
He even uses the address on his ID, and recently he's been getting some new neighbors, as Calgary rental rates leave some with little option.
It's a tough life. RVs can be cold in the winter, hot in the summer. They offer limited privacy and few amenities. And finding a safe place to park, it can be a constant struggle. Walmart parking lots and rest areas have become a popular spot. You can see the video I did here about that just recently. But homeless are not really welcome there. Many cities are cracking down on RV dwellers, citing concerns about safety, public health, and in the US, the Supreme Court just ruled that camping in public can be a jailable offense. Essentially, it's illegal in some places to not have a home. This often leaves people in RVs with nowhere to go. The situation here in Vancouver is set to worsen where the Tyne Head RV Park in Surrey, BC is scheduled to close. This closure will eliminate 140 RV spots, and this is going to leave many people who rely on these spaces scrambling to find alternatives.
The park's owner handed out a notice to residents in June, notifying them that he will be retiring and closing down the business at the end of October. The notice also stated water and electricity would be shut down.
He has a right to close the park under the Act, but there's proper notices. There's 12-month notices. There's a minimum $20,000 compensation for those folks.
The authority says the notice given out by the landlord is not effective because it's not an approved form, so the tenancy continues. Terrence Haber says he's been living at the RV park for 7 years.
It gives me independence and allows me to live in my own place. I would likely be homeless if I had to leave.
For me, I got no other place to go.
With limited affordable housing options and increasing pressure on existing RV parks, the number of RV dwellers on the street is expected to rise. The few long-term RV parks that are around, well, they're pretty full and they can't accommodate really any extra people. So many of the RV dwellers are forced to live on the streets, exposed to the elements and dangers of urban life, and it's a crisis that's only getting worse.
Pretty much the homeless have just taken over both sides of the street.
Now, while living in the RV is far from ideal, it can be a viable alternative for some people who would otherwise be homeless. For those who are unable to find affordable housing, an RV can provide a sense of independence and stability. It's a way to escape the dangers of the streets and have a place to call home, even if it's a temporary one. However, it's important to recognize that living in an RV is often not a long-term solution. The challenges of RV living can be significant, and it's not really suitable for everybody. Additionally, there are zoning laws that often force RVers out from campsites where they prohibit long-term stays. This can make it difficult for RV dwellers to find safe and affordable places to park long-term.
Yeah, Mary, neighbors are primarily concerned about this upper deck possibly toppling down onto a moving car or falling onto someone right here on the street.
June 19th is our deadline. We did get closure notice that they're going to close us on June 19th if we're not down to 47 spaces.
This RV campsite is legally permitted to have 47 lots, but inspectors discovered 103.
Now, it's also worth noting that while some RV dwellers are genuinely struggling to make ends meet, others may have substance abuse issues or they've made poor life choices. Regardless of the circumstances, the growing number of people living in RV highlights a systemic problem that requires urgent attention. The crisis isn't the fault of any one political party. It's a complex issue with many contributing factors, including rising housing costs, lack of affordable housing, a shortage of support services, and some like to blame the homeless for getting themselves into this situation. Some like to point out that this is the result of a growing gap between rich and poor, and some of the comments are likely going to go into the area of capitalism is collapsing, or they'll go to the opposite, which is like this is the result of rampant communism from the liberals. But whatever extreme or moderate position you can hold, one thing is for sure: if we don't do something different, we should expect the same results. Now, what solutions can we implement to address this crisis? I encourage you to share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's work together to find ways to help those who are struggling and to prevent more people from becoming homeless, which we can all agree none of us want. Thanks, everyone.